Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 28th July 2024. So let's get started with our discussion, and we are taking Delhi edition of Hindu. So whichever edition you are having, you can go to that. There will be no problem with any edition. Okay, so let us see each and every article which is important from our UPSC point of view in this class. So if you are watching our analysis, so please don't skip this analysis. And from now onwards, I am dedicatingly doing current affairs for online students. Separately, I am going for taking the separate recordings. And after that, for our offline students, I will be taking later on. Okay, there is no problem because whenever I am taking class for offline students, so the concentration of mine will be going on with the students only, and online students may get bored. So because of that, I want to take a separate recordings for only online students for YouTube class, and for our offline students, we'll be having other class. Okay, clear? So if you're following our analysis, so please do follow every day so that you will be getting lots and lots of insights regarding how to read your newspaper and which article is important, which is not, and how many dimensions we can think about that article, and how can we interconnect a single topic with different subjects. Okay, clear? Let's dive into our today's current affairs class. So this is the front page of your Hindu. So there is one article which is very important, and actually UPSC sometimes may ask even question from sports. So this surprise question from sports happened in your 2022 prelims. So we can't expect like where UPSC will be focusing or not. So here there is one article regarding Olympics. So Manu's historic bronze opens India's medal hunt. So on this Olympic podium, so at 22 years old, first Indian woman shooter, she got this bronze medal. You have to remember this name and which medal and which is that sport. Okay, that is the thing. And here you can see one important article. It is about fewer bidders, center scraps auction of 3 critical minerals blocks. So here the keyword you have to focus on, it is about critical minerals. Okay, it is about critical minerals. So where we can connect this topic? Okay, so if you see the subjects, we have GS paper 1 under geography. In geography, you will be studying about this metals and non-metallic minerals, like right, metallic and non-metallic minerals. So in this minerals, you have to add this critical minerals. So from geography point of view, it is important. And if you see from GS paper 3, we have science and technology. In science and technology, you have to see what are the applications of these critical minerals and which areas we will be using these critical minerals. And next one is, we have GS paper 3 under economy. So in this economy also, we will be reading this topic of critical minerals, because so these critical minerals are very much important for our growth and development. Okay, so here if you see the dimensions, you have to understand what are these critical minerals. First one is, what are the critical minerals? And you have to know examples of these critical minerals, because you may get question like, consider the following minerals, which of the above are critical minerals or which are not part of critical minerals. So in this way also you can expect a question. So from that point of view, you have to be prepared, and you have to see what are the applications of these critical minerals, and you have to see what are the laws which are present, laws and policies regarding this critical minerals. So these are the dimensions that you have to know. So here, which are the topics important? First one is from geography point of view, science and technology, and economy point of view, these articles are important, right? Now let us see this topic in detail. Am I going fast? No, right? So if you see context, it says that our central government has cancelled the auction of 3 critical mineral blocks because of insufficient number of bidders. So whenever they want to go for auctioning, so they want proper bidders. So here there is no proper bidders, there is no insufficient number of bidders. So because of this, central government had been cancelled this auction of 3 critical mineral blocks. Okay, so this decision is a part of government initiative, because we want to focus on self-reliance. That means we want to improve our domestic manufacturing. Okay, for that we need Indians need to be get into this, but because of a very low number of bidders, they had been cancelled. So these blocks mainly include critical minerals like lithium, potassium, and graphite. So this article is saying that why they went for cancelling. So first important point, it is very much clear in this article. It says there is insufficient participation. So lack of bidders indicates that there is lack of interest in the people, or there is a lack of capability among the potential investors to invest in this mineral sector. The first one is they are not interested. So what happens? So why we came up with this? To improve the self-reliance. Whenever there is very low participation, can we ensure the self-reliance? No. So there will be potential hindering of self-reliance goals now. And next one is, if you see the government strategy here, so whenever government went for cancellation of this bidding, that will lead to the central strategy to boost domestic production in critical minerals. So actually our government wants to improve domestic manufacturing in these areas, but because of no one showing interest, it will be having impact on our aim of boosting domestic production. And next one is, if you see the historical patterns, the trends of cancelling of these auctions, which suggests that yes, there are some systemic issues in our government. So because of this, now there are a number of questions which had been raised about the viability of auction process. And even many a times there is also regional disabilities or disparities are seen. Some areas we are having good amount of minerals, and some areas there is no proper, so that the investment from some areas will be get affected based on the content of this minerals also. And next one is, because of the scrapping of these auctions, it may also having impact on the market stability. So we can't ensure the stability in the market. And next one is for this, okay, so if you don't want to continue this, like cancelling of these auctions in the future, so we have to come up with a proper regulatory framework, so that we can ensure proper efficient participation of people, and as well as we need even regulatory adjustment to enhance attractiveness as well. So if you see some facts here, you can get a question regarding these critical minerals either in mains or prelims, and you have to be aware about this for sure. So here critical minerals are a metallic or non-metallic element, and they are having two important characteristics. So first one is they are essential for functioning for our modern technologies, and even for boosting of the growth and development of our country, and even for ensuring of national security also we need this. So if the supply chains are disrupted, means all these sectors, critical sectors, can be affected because of this no proper supply of critical minerals. Okay. So if you're talking about applications where we can use this critical minerals, or for example most advanced technologies, even in mobile phones we are using them, computers, fiber optic cables, semiconductors, banknotes, defense, aerospace, and medical applications we are using them. And even if we want to move towards electric vehicles also, we need this lithium batteries, right? So for electric vehicles also, wind turbines, solar panels, and for any rechargeable batteries we are using this lithium. And the next one here is, in the stainless steel and electronics also we can use. So if you're talking about the examples of these critical minerals, first one is we have antimony, beryllium, bismuth, cobalt, copper, gallium, germanium, lithium, vanadium. So these are the important examples of this critical minerals. So if you're talking about which countries are producing more, so we have Chile, Indonesia, Congo, China, Australia, and South Africa. So these are the top producers of this lithium. Okay, lithium and as well as this critical minerals. Okay, so you have to know these facts. And if you move on to our Delhi newspaper, here you can see one important interesting image. So this is showing about river Ganga. So why this river Ganga is in use? Because of Kanwar Yatra. So especially devotees of Lord Shiva will go into this river Ganga to fetch the sacred water to do Abhishek, Jal Abhishek on this Jyotirlingas, right? Okay, so now these people, they reach to this Ganga and they are collecting the holy water. So here you have to revise this topic of this Kanwar Yatra or Kanwaryas. And even there is one river which is given here, that is river Ganga. So you have to see this river Ganga related facts, like where it had been originated, tributaries, dams, okay, etc. And here you can see one article is talking about new job schemes kick to start off soon. So in our budget, we discussed that government is going to come up with the 5 important scheme that is focusing on improvement of or improving employment opportunities in our country. So they are focusing on internships, they are focusing on giving training, skill development, and giving support to MSMEs, right? So here this is about that article, and they are going to kick off this soon. So this is the thing which mainly said by finance secretary. Okay, now in this city space there is nothing much important, but there is one article. So I felt very sad that so there are three students. They had lost their life because of electrocution in Delhi, and they are from one famous IAS academy, but I don't want to name that. So here, if you see, recently one more IAS preparing guy had been died after clearing prelims because of electrocution. So here electrocution can be connected with the disaster management. For example, can I call it as a man-made disaster, right? So here, if you are a municipal commissioner, so what are the things that you are going to take? So I clearly said about that what are the things that you have to see whenever you are getting this type of articles in the news, where I discussed about NHRC on Sumoto took the case of this person who died because of electrocution. Okay, I think 3 to 4 days ago. So if you go on to states page, there is nothing much important. And you can directly see this article. It is about Hindu faith, Muslim spirit, locals at the service of pilgrims on Amarnath Yatra. So here you have to know about what is Amarnath Yatra. So what is the significance of this yatra and why people will be going to this yatra. So you have to know that thing. And if you want to say about the diversity, or if you want to give any example of unity in diversity, you can note this Amarnath Yatra as an example or a case study so that you can increase the value to your answers. And if you move on to editorial page, so most of our editorial articles are very important today, and we are going to focus on each and every article in this class. So first article is talking about planning better. The Niti Aayog suffers from both structural as well as functional issues. So what is the keyword here? Keyword is Niti Aayog. What is the keyword, guys? Niti Aayog. So where can we see this article? So we have GS paper 2 under polity. Under polity also we can study this topic of Niti Aayog. And we have GS paper 3 under which we will be studying this topic under economy. So in economy, after we got independence for development of our country, we used to have 5-year plans. So after Modi ji came into government, this 5-year plans had been scraped off and we came up with this Niti Aayog. So why this Niti Aayog is in news now? Because recently budget had been introduced. In that budget, some states they got good allocation, some states they don't. So because of this, most of the chief ministers of the states, they are discontent with this present budget. Okay. So because of this, now there is a big question which is in news, that what is the effectiveness of this Niti Aayog, whether it is effective or not. So this is the question before everyone. It is going on debates in different television channels. So here we have to understand. So what are the key things you have to know? What is this Niti Aayog? And even in your Lakshmi call also you will be having a separate chapter on Niti Aayog. So what is Niti Aayog? And you have to see provisions of Niti Aayog, or what are the functions of Niti Aayog, and who are the members of Niti Aayog. And you have to see about what are the challenges that Niti Aayog is facing. And you have to see what is the way forward. Clear? All these things are very important. And now let us see this topic in detail. So this article is saying that the Niti Aayog suffers from both structural and as well as functional issues. So it is facing both structural and as well as functional issues. So why? Because many times here governing council meetings, in this council meeting CMs, that is chief ministers of different states, they are showing their dissatisfaction with this union budget allocations. So they are not getting proper allocation. So because of this, CMs who are part of this governing council, yes, they are showing their dissatisfaction regarding this budget allocations. So if you see, this article is talking 5 important things and you have to know those 5 things. So first one is this enactment with Niti Aayog. So the boycott by multiple chief ministers underscores that a growing frustration with Niti Aayog's inability to address state concerns. Now states are saying that Niti Aayog is not addressing our concerns. And even this is one important step which indicates a crisis in our country. And next one is, even there is one question between competitive versus cooperative federalism. Whether Niti Aayog shift towards competitive federalism or not, whether it is focusing on indices or not, whether it has focusing on some states only, like that here, whether it is showing a genuine cooperation or not. So that is the one question between cooperative or what cooperative or competitive federalism now it is going on in India. And next one is, there is also impact of political dynamics. So even whatever the ruling party in the central level which is promoting a growth double engine, so because of this it is also raising the concerns regarding unequal resource distribution. For example, AP and Bihar, they got good chunk of money but not other states. And because of this, it is mainly highlighting the need for equitable approach to federal relations. And next one is, there is also some structural limitations are there, like there is lack of powers for resource allocation, and even Niti Aayog, which is just advisory role, which has become ineffective. So like that, there are some questions which are raising, like whether we need to re-evaluate its functions or not. And next one is, we are also need to focus on the state consultation as well. So even we know that the planning commission role had been diminished, so that we came up with this Niti Aayog to transform. But even because of this Niti Aayog also, there is disconnect which is increasing between central as well as states. And next one is, we have to focus on even macroeconomic stability. So finance ministry which prioritizes macroeconomic stability so that we can address these developmental deficits. And even we have to focus on balanced approach to investments. And finally, this article says that yes, we need to come with reforms in this Niti Aayog. Okay, so all these things are very important. And now let us see some facts regarding this Niti Aayog. So what is this full form of Niti Aayog? It is National Institution for Transforming India. So we came up because of this reason to transform India. And it is a premier policy of think tank of Government of India, and is playing a very important role in shaping the strategic long-term policies and programs for the country. And this Niti Aayog, which serves as a dynamic platform, and this platform will be providing both directional and policy inputs to the Government of India, so that it will be providing some advice to the center and as well as states. And the important mission of this Niti Aayog is providing critical directional and as well as strategical input, and will be helpful for developmental process, and even it will be helpful for providing some ideas for the development. So if we're talking about the composition of Niti Aayog, we have a chairperson of Niti Aayog. Who is a chairperson? It is very important. That is Prime Minister of India is the chairperson. And we have a governing council of Niti Aayog. So governing council includes the chief minister of states, and this one is chief minister of UTs and UTs with legislature, and lieutenant governors where UTs are not having the legislatures. So this governing council which consists of like administrative heads, they are showing dissatisfaction now. And next one is, we are also having regional councils of Niti Aayog. Okay, so especially if there are any multiple states or region, if they want to come up with this, so they can come and they can form. They are also chaired by Prime Minister, and they comprised of chief ministers as well as legislative lieutenant governors of the region. So I gave you 2 questions here, so try to solve these questions. The first one is, who is the chairperson? It is very easy. And this one is, what is the main objective of Niti Aayog? Okay, clear? And now let us see the next topic. It is about recasting care models for mental illness homelessness. So this article is talking about one important keyword, HPMI. So H is for homeless people with mental illness. So whenever people who are having with mental illness, so even if they are not having home, so what is the strategy to be taken by the government? So if you're traveling anywhere, especially under the metro bridges, so you can see lots and lots of people who are facing mental illness and they will be taking rest on the roadside and there will be no one to take care about them. Yes or no? So you might have seen such people, right? So here, where we can see this topic, we can add this topic under GS paper to polity and governance, because what are the policies government will be taking to provide some care for these peoples. And apart from this, we can also connect with GS paper 1 and 2 under society and social issues. Yes? Okay, so from these two subjects point of view, this article is very important. And you have to see about what is mental illness. Okay, so what are the causes for this mental illness? And what about this homeless people with mental illness? And what are the challenges they are facing? And you have to see what are the programs government can come, or what are the measures can be taken by the government. So all these things are very, very important. Now let us see this article in detail. So this article is saying that the need to recast care models for homeless persons living with mental illness by integrating individual agency, choice and community support to care strategies. So here many people, they are living homeless. They don't have any home, especially people who are facing mental illness. So even in the family, they know that that's one person who is facing mental illness. They will be thrown out of their home, right? So here this article is saying that we need an individual agency, we need a choice, and we need a community support to provide some care for these people. Okay, so whatever the current policies are there or approaches are there, so they are often focusing on coercive placements. That means we have to take them directly and we will be joining in some mental hospitals or anywhere. So it is very, very violent or coercive measures that we are taking. So this article is saying that traditional view of homeless individuals as mere refugee seekers will limit potential solutions. So for example, if you see like people who are spending their time across the roads, or they don't have any home, so even they will be taking rest under the metro stations, etc., or metro bridges, etc. So we should not think them as refugees, but even they belongs to India also, they will be facing this kind of situation sometimes. So traditionally we'll be thinking that that kind of homeless individuals are normally refugee seekers, and whenever we are thinking that they are refugee seekers, so whatever the options or solutions we are having, so there will be limitation on those solutions. Okay, so here we need to incorporate community. So connections with these homeless individuals make with the local support systems like eateries and pets, they will provide some sense of belonging, so that they will be getting some care models which is focused on institutional replacements. And even we can take some holistic care models like integration of emergency care and recovery centers within the district hospitals, so that we can make them more accessible and as well as immediate care whenever they need. And this one is evolving perspectives, so historical perspectives that prioritize shelter over choice, which reveals a need for evolving mental health practices. So even if you read, if you go through the Hindu, so many a times you will be saying like some unidentified dead body had been found here. So they will be giving some features, physical features of that person, and they will be asking you to identify. So in that way here, what happened here is, so they need proper shelter and they need some government support, especially from health. They have to get some proper healthcare services so that they can improve their lifespan. And this one is, even we have to take some long-term institutional measures. So already we are having some systemic failures like police interventions, and unnecessarily something will happen, or even if you want to admit them in the hospital, there is a long procedure. So actually we have some institutional issues, but we have to come out of them, and we have to recognize their rights, because they have their individual rights, human rights, fundamental rights. So everything is there for them also. So here we have to protect their rights. So I gave you one main question, so try to answer this question guys for sure. Okay, don't leave this kind of questions. Okay, now let us move on to another article. So here you can see plastic mess. So yesterday itself we discussed one article, not yesterday, on Saturday. So yesterday, because of Bonalu festival in Hyderabad, so there was a huge noise pollution. So because of this, I didn't able to record this Hindu. So and even there is nothing much important in yesterday's class. Okay, yesterday's Hindu paper, so that I skipped that. So here you can see this article is talking about plastic mess. So here we recently discussed one article that the amount of waste generation in Delhi region is very high. So waste generated per day is 11,000 metric tons, but only 8,000 metric tons had been processed. So this is one important problem we are facing. So that is the thing which mainly said. And now let us see this article in detail. So where can we connect from? Environment and ecology from GS paper 3, right? So this article is saying that more efforts must be made to curb production and as well as promote alternatives to control this plastic waste challenge. Because India is facing a severe plastic waste challenge and it is generating 4 million tons annually with only 25% recycled. So whatever the waste we are generating, only half, quarter, 25% had been recycled. So others, they are leaving like that only. So this is one important problem. So because of this, we are calling it as plastic mess. So if you're talking about this plastic waste challenge, so here there is a 4 million tons of plastic waste is generated. So because of this, it says that we need to take urgent action for comprehensive waste management strategies, and we have to go for recycling. Recycling is a step forward to control this problem. And actually in India we are having a very low recycle efficacy. So just 25% of waste can be recycled. So this system is inadequate in India, and we don't have proper infrastructure, and even public awareness is very less in this recycling. And even we are having this extended producer responsibility. That means producer is responsible to collect the waste, but this extended producer responsibility system is also facing lots and lots of challenges in India. And next one is, even there is a fraud certificates which is indicating that there is systemic weaknesses and undermine the credibility of recycling efforts. And next one is, we are not having proper audits. So here this article is saying that CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, need to have a proper efficient audit so that we can minimize this problem of corruption and accountable transparency, etc. And next one is, we are also having limitations from the legal system as well. So the lengthy legal process which involved in imposing fines that will hinder the swift action against non-compliance, which suggests that yes, we need the legislative reforms so that we can enhance the proper implementation enforcement of rules and regulations. And even we can focus on some alternatives so that we can at least try to mitigate this plastic waste mess, so that India needs to move towards reducing of plastic waste production. And even we have to investigate in innovative sustainable alternatives, not just recycling. So I gave you one more question here, so please try to answer this question. And next topic here is defending disability reservation. So this article is talking about reservation for disabilities, and this is not a new topic. From last 1 week to 10 days, especially in Telangana and Telugu and this Andhra Pradesh states, we are having this lots and lots of debates are going on. So this article is talking about, especially with this fake certificates, UPSC seats you are getting, or they are clearing this examination, they are becoming this administrative services officers, right? So because of this is the news. And now let us see this topic. Actually, it is not a new topic to say, but even though the article is in news, so you have to know that. So there are some recent controversies surrounding allegations for fake disability certificates by this Pooja Kadkar. So because of this, reservation for this persons with disabilities is in news now. So even Niti Aayog CEO also called to review these reservations. And if you're talking about this disability reservations, so first point is there is systematic discrimination that we can see here. So now the controversy which is surrounding around the reservation points that there is deeper societal issue of ableism. So many officials, they lack first-hand experience with these PWDs and leading to misguided views that overlook the challenges in the society. So many people, they don't have like first-hand experience with these people with disabilities, whether they are working efficiently or not, whether they are much capable or not. So because of this is going on. And next one here is only 23.8% of PWDs are employed. So because of this, now we are seeing that there is disparity in labor participation. So because of this, yes, government need to provide some reservation so that we can encourage them and we can give some employment to them. And this one here is because of impact of some isolated incidents. So from, for example, whenever we are talking about the purpose of reservations, it is essential to ensure that policy supports the majority who genuinely need them. Like these people, they genuinely need them because from the from the time they born, so from that time they will be struggling a lot. Okay, so if there is no reservation for them in this jobs also means their life get ruined, right? Okay, so you have to think about this. And this one is outdated certification practices. So what are the certificates that we are getting now? So they're outdated process. So we have to use this artificial intelligence technology, and based on that, we can come up with the proper certificates of individuals. And next one here is we need a proper assessment whether we are using the specialist or not, whether we are going for unrealistic guidance or not. So here proper certification process should be very, very transparent. And even we discussed that people with these disabilities, they need proper accommodations. They are called as reasonable accommodations. So here we need proper reasonable accommodations for them as well. So these are the things which mainly said. And if we move on to next topic, in text and context, there are two articles which are very important. So first one is on reservations and OBC creamy layer. So it is talking about OBC creamy layer. So now let us see this topic. It is very, very important from your examination point of view. Okay, so it is important from your polity GS paper 2, where you will be reading about the fundamental rights. And in this fundamental rights, whenever you are talking about right to equality, there are some reasonable restrictions under which we can provide reservations for this low caste people. So if you see the context, it says that Article 15 and 16, so these two articles, they guarantee equality to all citizens in any policy of the government, public employment, etc. here. So in order to achieve this social justice, so we have to focus on providing some advancements of social and educationally backward classes, or OBC, scheduled caste as well as scheduled tribes. So there are some reasonable restrictions. So we're talking about this Mandal Commission report, which said that 27% of reservation should be given to OBC. And even this Indra Sahani case also, Supreme Court said that yes, we can give 27% to reservation to this OBCs. And under this also we can come up with sub-categorization of reservations. So whenever we are coming up with sub-categorization of reservations, it will be very helpful to address under-representation or non-representation of various communities. Okay, clear? There's nothing much new. And now we have to see one important article. It is about South Africa came up with a new law on climate change. And this topic is important from international relations, which comes in the GS paper 2 and as well as from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. So now let us see the context. It says that South Africa's president, that is Ramaphosa, he signed into a law, that is a piece of legislation, and is going to focus on mandatory curbs of emissions from large fossil fuel heavy industries. And if you see the details, it says that South Africa relies on mainly coal for its primary fuel source. And whenever they are focusing on coal, obviously it will be releasing greenhouse gases. So here they want to focus on this climate change, and because of that they are going to come up with a new law which will be curbing this greenhouse gas emissions. So they are also taking some other acts into consideration. They are making with a new law. So those acts are Environment Protection Act, Forest Conservation Act, Energy Conservation Act, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, etc. So they will be taking other acts and they will be providing the things, okay, in the new law. So these are some very important articles that appeared in our today's newspaper. So if you go on to other papers in this newspaper, there is nothing much important. Okay, so here there is one important article. It is talking about cities, sites. Okay, sites eases norms for agar wood export move to benefit lack of farmers from northeast. So India has been successfully prevented the inclusion of agar wood under the review of significant trade. And finally, sites also gave some easing of norms so that we can increase exports of this agar wood. So here you have to see what is agar wood and for what we can use. Okay, so what is significance of this and what are the applications of this wood? So that's it, nothing much important. So these are very important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching. And if you want to take foundation course, we are providing offline and online, and we're also providing current affairs advanced course. And apart from that, you will be also having NCRT course and mains answer writing, prelims test series. So each and every course that we are providing with utmost quality. So try to join those courses, and if you have any doubts regarding the courses, you can call on the number 8074765513. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys.